everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing my March wrap-up, my beginning of April wrap-up, and mid-April TBR. I know I'm a little late in uploading this video and filming it. I was in Oregon this past week visiting Hannah, and when I got back I didn't get a chance to sit down and film, so pretty much this video is a little bit late. But also today is my birthday, so I also thought it would be fun to do a little birthday unboxing. I got some gifts from my in-laws and Kevin already looked at them and he told me it's Bookish related, so he told me it would be fun to like open up on camera. So March was very heavy on graphic novels, which is something that I've been wanting to read a lot more recently. I've kind of been in a graphic novel mood, so I read a decent amount of graphic novels in March. The first graphic novel I read was Giant Days Volume 1, and I also read Volume 2 during Dewey's Readathon. This is a contemporary graphic novel. It's about three girls. They are in college or university in England, and it's just kind of about them navigating college life and being friends and boys and stuff like that. So I'm really enjoying it. This is one of Hannah's favorite graphic novel series and she's been wanting me to read it, and so I finally picked it up and I really did enjoy it. I gave them both 4 out of 5 stars and I definitely want to continue on with the series. I already have Volume 3 checked out from my public library for April's TBR. The next graphic novel I attempted to read was Fairy Tale. I didn't really like it. I didn't like the way women were portrayed in it. I wasn't really interested in the story. It sounded cool at first, but it was just kind of all over the place, and that one I believe is a manga. Actually, that's not a graphic novel. That one's a manga. And it was just, I didn't really enjoy it, so I just ended up DNFing it after 50% of the way through. The next graphic novel I read was Aquaman The Trench Volume 1. I really enjoyed it. I am obsessed with the movie Aquaman. I loved it so much. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with it, but it is one of my favorite movies. So I thought I would try reading the graphic novels, and I really enjoyed the first graphic novel. It's very similar to the movie. The graphic novel actually came out first, so I guess I should say the movie is similar to the first volume of Aquaman. So I really enjoyed it, and that's also one that I want to continue on with. I already have Volume 2 and 3 checked out for my public library for my April TBR, so I'm excited to continue on with that series, and I ended up giving it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Next, I read Spider-Man Deadpool Isn't It Bromantic Volume 1. This is the first volume in the Spider-Man Deadpool like collab, and I really enjoyed it. This is another one that Hannah was really wanting me to read. She enjoys that collab graphic novel, and I agree, I really enjoyed it. I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5 stars. I love the humor of Deadpool. I thought it was so great. I was laughing out loud. Just Deadpool's humor is fantastic. Spider-Man was a little whiny for me in this one. And even Hannah said it's not her favorite in the series, but I do want to continue on, especially since Hannah says it gets better. And the last graphic novel that I read in March was Scott Pilgrim Volume 1, and this is by Brian Lee O'Malley. I adore Brian Lee O'Malley's graphic novels. Seconds is one of my favorite graphic novels, and it's written by him. The problem with Scott Pilgrim, I really enjoyed the humor. I enjoyed the art style. I just had an issue with a plot in the story. So basically we follow our main character, Scott Pilgrim, and he has these dreams about a girl. He tries to woo this girl and date her, but he has a girlfriend while this is happening. With that being said, I had to deduct it a whole star because I really didn't like that plot point. If that hadn't been in there, I would have given it a 5 out of 5 stars and definitely continued on with the series. But that whole like cheating plot point, I really did not enjoy. So I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5 stars. Oh, I also started Runaways, which is amazing. I only got like a fourth of the way through it, but I definitely want to finish that one. So I think I might buy that one. I have a gift card to Barnes & Noble, and as I said, since today's my birthday, I may go on a little shopping spree, and I think The Runaways might be one that I am going to kind of splurge. So that is another one on my April TBR. Okay, so moving away from graphic novels and now into books, I pretty much read and like started and finished only one book, and that was Blue Lily Lily Blue by Maggie Stiefvater. This is the third book in the Raven Cycle Quartet. We do have a live show for Blue Lily Lily Blue that we did this past Saturday, so April 6th, and I will have that link down below if you want to go check out our thoughts with spoilers and stuff. But I absolutely loved this one. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I think I might up it to a 4.5 out of 5 stars because I really enjoyed it a lot more than The Dream Thieves. This is my third favorite in the series. The relationships is amazing. We get so much more world building. We get more explanation of like the magic system. It's just, the story is so intricate. It just kind of builds and builds, and we get a lot more bonding with all of the characters in this book. So just all in all, fantastic, and I cannot wait to get onto The Raven King. The next book I started in March, and then I finished it during Dewey's Readathon, and that is Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. This was another Muggle Studies book club. This was for March, and our live show for Skyward is in the same live show as Blue Lily Lily Blue. We decided to just do an hour show with 30 minutes for each book. Let us know if you prefer that. I think we might switch to that because we know 2 hours can get a little lengthy. So let me know down below if that's something that you guys would prefer, or do you like the hour-long discussion for each book. I really enjoyed Skyward. I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5 stars. I really loved the writing style. I adored the humor. It is so good. I also really loved that the synopsis when you read it is really vague, which is fantastic because there are elements that are introduced in this book, like certain plots that I wasn't expecting, and it was a pleasant surprise, and it definitely amped up the story. Another thing that I surprisingly liked about this book is that there is absolutely no romance, and typically I love my romance in books, but this one was just solely based on Spensa and getting through flight school and overcoming the title of being a coward's daughter, and just the way people treat her, and just being strong and fierce. So I really enjoyed that. Plus, Spensa's an interesting character. She's very cocky at the beginning, but she definitely has really good character development, so I like that. My one gripe about this book is that it's way too long. It is 510 pages, and this story could have been told in 300 pages. Like, both Hannah and I agree that we needed the first 100 pages, or the first 200 pages in this book, and the last 100 pages in this book. And like, the middle 200 could have been eliminated because it's just a lot of them in the classroom going through simulations in flight school, and just a lot of it could have been cut down. This is my first Brandon Sanderson book, so I definitely think I will read more. I think I'm going to continue on with the series because I wasn't expecting the way it ended, and I'm intrigued, especially since I love space. But I really hope that the other books in the series aren't so big, and if they are, I hope we would get more stuff. Like, there's tons of action in this book, there really is, but there's just a lot of the same stuff over and over again that just a few scenes of them in simulation in the classroom would have been enough. Like, I didn't need 200 pages of it. And I also started an audiobook in March, and I finished it for Dewey's Readathon, and that was God's Grave by Jay Kristoff. I adored this book. Oh my goodness. So I really enjoyed Nevernight. I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5 stars, I believe. But God's Grave, I gave a 5 out of 5 stars. I listened to the audiobook, and I think that really helps tremendously enjoying the book a lot. So in these books, let me show you with like Nevernight, for example, there are tons of footnotes, lots and lots of footnotes. And when you're physically reading it, personally for me, I got bogged down with reading it in Nevernight. So I think I got through like 100 pages in Nevernight of physically reading it, and I couldn't get into it. So I switched to the audiobook, and for God's Grave, I only listened to the audiobook. I really, really, really enjoyed it. It was so good. Mia is just phenomenal, and what I love about this story is that it's more world building. We're getting a lot more, just so many twists and turns and massive like discoveries, things that I wasn't even expecting. So in Nevernight, we focused more on Mia's training as to be an assassin, and in God's Grave, we're focusing on like her in action and what she can really do, and just kind of seeing her powers develop and grow. Oh, so good. And then like the shadow demons just brings such an interesting element to the story. I adored Mr. Kindly and Eclipse. They're two of my favorite characters, along with Mia and other characters that is so good, so good. Also, I did want to mention that God's Grave is a lot more adult than Nevernight. A lot more violence, a lot more like graphic violent scenes, a lot more sex scenes, and also a lot more language. So those are a couple things to keep in mind. Like if you thought Nevernight was kind of pushing it a little bit, then I would maybe recommend staying away from God's Grave, because it kind of takes it a step further in it being an adult book. So as far as my April TBR, I'm kind of keeping it a little simple. Since we're already 12 days into the month, I didn't want to overwhelm myself, especially since I did have a really good Dewey's readathon. I'm just sticking to 3 books. 2 of them I have to read. So the first one is The Raven King by Maggie Stiefvater. I'm so excited to read this book. It is my favorite book in the series, and this is the 4th book in the Raven Cycle Quartet. And all I have to say is the relationships in this book is just so amazing. I absolutely loved reading it the first time. All I remember about this book are like the relationship stuff. As far as things on like the Raven King and Glendower and all of that stuff, I cannot remember any of it. So it's gonna be a kind of a pleasant surprise rereading it, because there's so much that I've forgotten. I just remember that this is my favorite book. So our live show is going to be the first Saturday in May. That is going to be May 4th. The next book is also another Muggle Studies Book Club pick, and that is for April, and that is Sadie by Courtney Summers. I'm really excited to read this. I'm nervous, but I'm really excited. I don't remember if it's considered adult, new adult, or YA, but it is thriller, and I've been kind of wanting to dip my toes in thriller a little bit recently. So in this book, we have 2 perspectives. We are following Sadie, who is 19 years old, and her sister Maddie was brutally murdered. So she is out trying to seek her sister's killer and get revenge. Then we follow it from a radio talk show host perspective, West McCrae, and he is doing like a podcast about Sadie's disappearance. So it's really interesting. I've already read the first like 50 pages of this book, and I was hooked immediately. It was supposed to be a book that I was going to give Hannah for our book exchange, but she ended up already having it. So we both decided to go ahead and make it a Muggle Studies book club, because we're both really intrigued, and this book has kind of been blowing up on BookTube, so it's kind of the perfect time to read it. A lot of people have already read it. The only thing that I do know about this book is that there are triggers for child abuse, I believe sexual assault, substance abuse as well. So I think keep that in mind if you're really sensitive to those 3 things. And I also hear that this book will make you cry. And as you know me, I cry. I'm a very emotional reader. So I can if a book's gonna make me cry, it's gonna make me cry. So I have a feeling this is going to definitely do that, and I'm curious to see if it's gonna tug at Hannah's emotions, because she's more of a stoic reader. So I'm curious to see her reading vlog on reading Sadie, because I wanna know if she's gonna cry. I definitely will. And the last book that I kind of want to read, and this is a reread for me, and that is A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J Maas, because I don't have enough books to read. I am putting in a reread. I started rereading this book during Dewey's 24-hour readathon because I was kind of craving some romance books and I was craving some Sarah J Maas books. And so I decided to restart Court of Mist and Fury, and I think I read about 100 pages or so, maybe even a little bit more. So I figured I'll just go ahead and just kind of read it at leisure when I'm not reading the other two books. So that's kind of it for that. Let's do a quick unboxing. So like I said, it's already opened because Kevin told me that it is Bookish related. So I'm excited to see what it is. Let's see. Oh, that is so cool. Okay, so it is a Harry Potter 3D puzzle. It has 450 pieces. I've actually never done a 3D puzzle, and lately I have been really into doing puzzles. I think this will be really cool. I can like do it and like put it on my bookshelves. I think that would make for some really cool display. So I'm curious if this is, I think this is another puzzle. I'm really excited. Is it Harry Potter? I'm assuming it's the other one because this is, which one is this? This is Diagon Alley. So let me guess. This one's probably going to be maybe another part of yeah. Or is it the same one? It's the same one. Huh. Well, looks like I was accidentally sent two? Maybe it was supposed to, I don't know. I'll have to find out what happened because I just got two of the same one. But that's okay because, I mean, I'll build both of them and display them. But I need to call my in-laws and see if that's what they meant. But thank you guys so much if you're watching my video. I am really excited to do these puzzles. Anyways, sorry for this long video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you next time in another video. Bye!